Hi, this is Maria. Welcome to my craft room. Today we're using the In the Moment stamp set. Before we start, please remember to like, share, and subscribe and click that notification bell so that you are notified when I post a new video. Let's get started. So I just had to buy this stamp set because it's got a little dog that looks just like my Penny. She's not up here right now, but if she comes up, we'll turn on the Penny cam. One thing, I wanted to make something for myself, so we're not making a card today. And I couldn't decide if I want to do watercolor using my stamp pads and a water pen, or watercolor pencils using these blender pens. So we're going to do both and see which one we like better. So we're going to watercolor two ways today, and we're not making a card. So here's my watercolor pencils. I've got my ink pads ready. What we're going to do, I want this for me, so I'm going to use this stamp, and sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. And I'm going to make a picture frame and put it on my desk or in my office somewhere. So this is a dollar store 5x7 frame. This is Mossy Meadow 5x7 to fit the frame, right? That's going to be our background. And then I'm using designer series paper from the Dainty Flowers set, this that we've been using. It's got some beautiful colors, and so the back of your pads tell you all the colors. We'll be using most of those. That's where this paper comes from. So Dainty Flowers. So this was 5x7. We're going down 1-inch increments. So 5x7. This is 4x6. And then Mossy Meadow again, 3x5. And then I've cut two basic whites at just a 1/4 inch smaller than that layering piece to give us that nice little outline. And these are 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. Now I've cut two of these because we're going to do the watering color two different ways. So we'll see which one we like better, and then that will lay in the center, and we'll have something nice that we can frame. All right, so let's go ahead and do the stamping, and then we'll do the watercoloring, and then we'll put it all together and we'll see how it goes. All right, so I'm going to grab my stamps out of here. Want that one and that one. And we're going to come in closer here just so we can see what we're doing a little better. And the general idea is to have these stamps like this, and then it's going to have the pretty paper framed all around it. So I think that is straight. And then we'll grab a big block. This is an E block, and I'm going to put both of these, I'm going to put my head in here, both of these on the same block. Perfect. And then we'll stamp them together. So now let's do pencil first, and then we'll do watercolor pen. Okay, so if we're going to do pencil first, I can use a Memento ink. When we do the watercolor pen, we'll have to use StazOn because of the type of ink that it is. So Memento Tuxedo Black. Just ink up your stamps. Make sure you've got it nice and covered. Make sure all your lines have the ink on them. That's got a little bit of a, I'm going to clean this because I've got a little bit of a mess there. So no big deal. We'll just wipe it off a little bit on my scrub, and we'll start over straight down. You don't want a big glob. All right, that should do me. Let's hope for the best here, and we're gonna stamp straight down and press. And that is beautiful. All right, I'm gonna give this stamp a quick clean over here off screen, just because I don't like to leave my stamps dirty. Okay, so that is clean. So that was Memento Black. We're gonna put that away. And with watercolor, what did I say? With Memento, I'm going to use blender pens. All right, so blender pens and pencils. So this paper has a lot of pretty colors in it. We've got, let's see, just make sure we know what we've got here. We've got Blushing Bride, Crushed Curry, Fresh Freesia, Mossy Meadow, Olive, Old Olive, Rich Raspberry, and Starry Sky. So out of that, we're going to use, I don't have Starry Sky, but we're going to use Night of Navy because I happen to have Night of Navy in ink pad as well. So we're going to do similar colors in both of the methods. We've got Old Olive and Daffodil Delight, Crushed Curry. Crushed Curry is in here, but Daffodil Delight, I think we'll mix these two to get a pretty yellow. Flirty Flamingo is not in here, but it's a nice pale pink, and that will match this nicely. Rich Raspberry is this color in here. And Early Espresso is going to be for the hair because my hair is pretty dark. All right, so not all of these colors are in here, but they match pretty well. And then we'll do the same color matching when we get to the ink pads with the watercolor pen. Okay, so let's get started on coloring in here. Let's see, let's start with the puppy. So this is Early Espresso, so it's a dark brown. Penny has brown on her ears and a little bit on her face, so that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to color in her little ear tips and the little spot around her eyes, and the rest of Penny is white, so we're just gonna, that's all we're gonna do for Penny. Now I'm gonna grab just a little rag here to clean off my blender pen as we go, and we're just going to rub this color in. So this is watercolor pencil and blender pen. Beautiful. Now we need to decide what else do we want in this brown. The hair needs to be brown. Can we see? Yes. So we're going to color the hair. We're just going to sloppily put color down here, and the blender pen will work its magic. Whoops, that's not what I want. Beautiful. Okay, do we want anything else brown? Let's make the coffee cup, just the top of it, brown. And we'll call that good. Now, let's work with Rich Raspberry to get this blanket down, because this matches this color. That's very nice. So again, we're just sloppily putting color down. I love watercolor, but I'm not using watercolored pencil, which is why I'm not sure if this will work better or the water pen. The water pen tends to make your paper crinkle. So let's see if this works any better. So we want color here. Do we want this color anywhere else? I don't think so. So we'll stop there. I'm gonna pick the other, well, that one's got some green. Let's pick this one. It's already stained a little bit with some pink. We're just gonna give it a white and try to avoid the black. It doesn't really interfere, but I don't want to risk ruining this piece. Beautiful. Nice soft color. Very nice. And then I think I want the pillows to be this softer pink. So this is Flirty Flamingo. Now Flirty Flamingo is not in here. What is in here is Blushing Bride. So it's a pale pink, and this is as close as I have in pencil. But it's pretty pale too. Sloppy color on the pillow, and I think we'll make this coffee cup pink as well. Okay. Very nice. It's so relaxing to just sit in color. Okay. Very pretty. All right. Now the blanket I want in green. I really like greens. Now the background is going to be Mossy Meadow. Old Olive is in this as well, in this paper pack. See, we've got Old Olive and Mossy Meadow. Mossy Meadow is what we're using for the background pieces for these. So, but this is so close. We're gonna use it. It'll be just fine. So Old Olive is gonna be all over this blanket. Don't color the dog. And we're going to go around this coffee cup. Okay. The only place I see this running a little bit is in here in this pink. That pink is so light. You can almost see that it took a little bit of that black up here, but everywhere else I'm using it, I don't see this Memento black fading into the color at all. So this is a pretty good technique. All right, now I want just make sure you know where your legs are in here. That's blanket and that's blanket. Otherwise your dog will have green legs. Okay, so what else? Let's see, this yellow. Crushed curry is what's in here. This is Daffodil Delight. This is crushed curry. Let's see what it looks like. It's a little dark for me. So I'm going to blend in this Daffodil Delight just to make it stand out a little more. Okay. Very nice. Gotta have yellow socks. All right. And then the book, I think we'll do the same color for the book. That's Daffodil Delight, and this is the crushed curry. Again, we're just mixing these two a little bit. Very nice. Okay, so that's it for this method. Watercolor. Oh, I forgot the blue. This is Night of Navy. This is not crumbling the paper at all, the way watercolor sometimes does. And we'll see how it does with the water pen in just a minute. Let's see. Beautiful. Okay, so that was colored pencils and a blender pen. And it didn't warp my paper. The only thing that I can see that's a little concerning is that it blurred a little bit of this black, but it's almost not noticeable. My colors blend very nicely. And it's going to go there. Now this yellow is very bright, so we're going to darken that up to match this a little better. We're just going to go right over it with the crushed curry. A little too bright. There we go. A little darker. It's still pretty bright. And those socks look green. That's crushed curry and they turned out green. I wonder if I used the green, the same tip that I used on the green blanket. It's very possible. See how it tinted? I used this one on the pink and it tints the pencil, the tip. That might have happened there. So we've just added a little more yellow. There we go. Looks a lot more yellow. Now that's not the right shade. So that's Daffodil Delight. That was a little too bright. So crushed curry is what I should have used. That's this color. Maybe if we add a little orange. Pumpkin pie. Let's see if that brings it back to the right color. It's still very bright, very yellow. Well, we'll see. If the other method gives us a better color. Okay, we're going to call that good. All right, so let's see. We like this. Now let's try the other method that I was talking about. Now we're going to use the same stamp. I've already cleaned it, but this time we're going to use Stays On so that we can use actual watercolor. This is basic white. It's not watercolor paper. And let's take off the little protective layer there. And we're going to ink this up. Make sure we've got lots of ink on here. And if you would rather, you can do the opposite and bring the ink pad to your stamp. Either way works, whatever you like best. I always like to cover my ink pads because you will put your hands in it if you don't do this. All right, so same as before. We're going to stamp straight down and press. Beautiful. right. Now this time, we're going to use a water pen. So that means we're going to go straight into the ink pads. I'm going to use a little block to help me. This is Mossy Meadow, which is the background that we're using, right? Like this. So that's Mossy Meadow. And we're going to do the exact same thing, or really close, to this one that we've just done in watercolor. All right, and we'll see what we like better. So I'm going to dip right into the ink pad. Actually, let's do this. Right into the ink pad. You see we've got a little color right there on the block. That's going to be my little palette. Put some water on there. And we're going to go into the blanket part here. That's a lot of color. Don't color the dog. It sure goes down a lot faster. Try not to put too much water down. Very nice. And that's it for green. All right. The next color we're going to use is Rich Razzleberry for the blanket. Again, we're just going to put a corner in here. Put a little water down. And we're going to go right across this blanket. It's much faster. Doesn't blend very well. It's a different effect, different look. This is much bolder than this. There we go. Okay, and then Blushing Bride. Let's put this away. Blushing Bride. Very light pink there. For the pillows. That's quite a different shade than what we had up here. But I didn't have Blushing Bride in pencil. Now this black ink does not move at all. At all. It's not budging. Okay. That's all for the pink. And then we're going to do Soft Suede for the hair. There's my little spot of ink. And the dog ears. Careful not to put too much water in there because it'll mix in with that green from the blanket. Very pretty. I'm sure with practice both would look fabulous. And it's taking on a different look as it dries. Certainly. This one. I wasn't liking this rich raspberry when I first laid it down, but I'm liking it now that it's dried just a little bit. It's not warping very much. It is warping a little bit. This one didn't warp at all. And let's see, do we want any more brown? No. The last color is this yellow, which is supposed to be crushed curry, and I don't have crushed curry. So we're going to have the same issue where it's going to be a little bright. So let's see. I have Daffodil Delight, which is what I used. That was too bright. And Pumpkin Pie is what we used there. And I did have crushed curry, but I didn't like the color. So, well, let's just see what it looks like. We'll start with the yellow because it needs to be yellow. That's the color we're after. So let's see. We'll start with Daffodil Delight. There is color on there, but you can barely see it. Yep. Not quite the right shade, but it's still very pretty. We'll get the socks too. Yeah, this black ink, the Stays On, does not mix at all with my watercolor at all. There's no bleeding. All right, and then we will add the Pumpkin Pie. So it's the same as we did here. Pumpkin Pie and Daffodil Delight. Yes, same colors. If I had crushed curry, that would be different, but I don't have it, so I haven't purchased all of the colors yet. Okay, I'm working on it. Okay, just a little bit of orange. Oh yeah. Not a lot. We don't want a lot of color in here. Beautiful. We're having the same sort of effect as we did over here. It's more yellow than this, but it'll work. I think it looks just fine. Okay, and then lastly, the Night of Navy, which is what we used over here, Night of Navy, for the jeans. Okay, So let's take a good look and see which we like better. Let's give it a second to dry. Doesn't really take long. Very nice, very similar. The watercolor pen is a lot bolder colors. I put a little too much orange in here, so now my book cover is not the same color. This one blended better, the colors did. Let's add a little more orange here just to even, whoops. So I don't like that. Look at that. I don't like the way the book turned out, and I just added something. I don't like that book at all. So we're gonna use this one. What do you think? If the color of the book was better, I would have chosen this one. Let's see. I don't know. They both look very nice. Okay, so since I have messed up the book on this one, my two book covers don't look the same, we're going to choose to use this. All right, so now let's assemble. So there's my picture frame. We've got 5x7, and then we're going to just use some liquid glue for this, my DSP. And we're just going to center this. And this is going to go right into that picture frame. And then we've gone an inch smaller here. So this is 3x5 Mossy Meadow to give us a nice matte layer. Center that one. Beautiful. And then whichever one you decide to use. This is watercolored pencil. This is water pen with ink pads. And we're going to use this one. And this piece was just a 1/4 inch smaller than this green layer. So that was 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. And that is it. Is that not just the prettiest thing? Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. We'll put it in the frame and see what it looks like. Beautiful. I really like this. This is so pretty. So you don't have to make cards if you don't like to. You can always make something decorative to put in your house, to put in your office. This is beautiful. And I love the color combinations. And I've got a little image of Penny wherever I am. I really hope you like my videos. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and click that notification bell so that you are notified when I post a new video. Thanks for watching.